Before we can begin today's video, guys, please go check out Sound of Zion Christian merch. Guys, they've got all different kinds of designs, and if you desire to have your own design on your Christian merch that is obviously godly, you are welcome to do so, and they will surely deliver and leave no crumbs. So they are on Facebook and they're on TikTok, Sound of Zion. Just search and you'll find them. And yeah, get yourself a t-shirt. And lastly, warning guys, viewers discretion is advised. The content in this video may sound disrespectful to some people or offensive, but it is my story time, my experience, and I gotta share it to everybody. So take a few things that you be learning, and run with it so that you do not get to experience what I experienced. So let us begin the video. You're late. What it do? What it is? What it do? What it do? What it is? What it do? What it is? What it do? What it do? What it is? Welcome back to my channel. Please don't forget to go subscribe, comment down below, and go ring that bell. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Guys, there's literally an imbalance between these two colors. I mixed gloss with red matte item, and I thought maybe I was gonna do a soft pink and something not too dramatic, and it's trying to be dramatic with me. But anyway, welcome back to my channel, guys. It's been some time. I've been cooking for y'all. That's why I be taking time. And guys, I've got a young cold, so please bear with me. Today's video, it's a story time. And it's been a long time without doing story times, because some things cannot be said. Some things I might say them in 5 years to come. And maybe towards the end of the year, I don't know, depending on how the Lord would lead me, if I'm able to speak about it or not. So yeah, but today Monday ngizokhuluma, and I believe you guys heard the warning, viewer description, advice, because I really had to put it out there. And please understand, this is my experience. Everyone has their own different experiences when it comes to their university life, and some had great experiences, some had bad experiences, and that's okay. That's where we're here, because you're about to hear my experience. So this is part 1 of my university journey, and I'm gonna touch in every sector, every part, man, because people got to know the truth, because the word of God says that the truth will make you free. Not set you free, but make you free. And trust and believe it gonna do that. So this is gonna be part 1. There's gonna be part 2, which is gonna be the next video. And let me tell you, part 2, let me not spoil for you guys. So part 1, so I believe you guys have been seeing from my vlogs what kind of school I went to, or what university I went to. And as I said in my viewers description, that I'm not bashing nobody, I'm not bashing no school, nothing, because some things I'm not gonna say them, because it's gonna seem as though I'm doing that. And you may never know, in this world you can get into trouble because of some certain things, but I'm sharing my experience, so there's no way I can get in trouble. And cause the word of God says, do not fear man, but fear the Lord God Almighty. So, period. Anyway, so I went to a certain school. I started my first year, 2021, and I was not fully I was still going through my transition of being born again. So the course that I chose, it was one of my, I would say maybe top 4 that I wouldn't mind to do, but I actually really wanted to do a certain course, but at that school they didn't have it. I told you the truth. So manje kodwa, and at that time like that, so it wasn't this thing I want to pray first about it, but I knew in my heart I had to do it. Like, I was so passionate and I really wanted to do a different course, but because again I was not sponsored by the government, I was sponsored by my parents, so I ended up doing it because happening and stuff, but I didn't really think it through. And guys, this is whereby I advise you, especially when you're born again, please pray about everything, the cause that you desire or that you're interested in, or even if you're confused or you don't even know what cause to choose, pray. And the thing is that the Lord would have already answered you, because that course, it is in alignment with your destiny. And this is the thing about living your life for Christ. Everything ends up coming a combination or some kind of, I guess I wouldn't explain it, but it ends up edifying your destiny. It doesn't take you away from your destiny. It doesn't take you out even in your relationship with God. So for you to know that the cause that you're doing is right, it's what the Lord has said to you about your own destiny, and that is still a mystery that you still have to continuously to pray to understand. So please pray about the cause, pray about the actual school, because this is a matter of fact, every school, every university, secondary, primary, they are principalities, and that you cannot run away from it, because that's what the book of Ephesians says. So they are principalities, even Kodishopong, Konadi principality, you know. And the thing about being born again is that you have to stand on your journey with the Lord. Be genuine with God, be very much yielding unto Him, so that these principalities, because they manipulate people's minds. That's why Moto, who is a sister who's firebranded, you know, first year, and then towards third year, fourth year, they fall. They start drinking, they start partying, they start going with guys and stuff like that. It's because of the principality, but they ended up being manipulated. The moment when you're disaligned with God, that's when manipulation can be fully maneuvered in your life, and that is the truth. So at the school that I went to, I knew the principality that was there, and because I was very much strict with myself and very much settled in the principles of God, and even what the word of God says generally, and also just hella my love of God did not permit me to be manipulated either by my classmates, by my lectures, and we will get into that. So that's the school that I went to. The school that I went to hape in inale golfs, in inale gay, all kinds of things, and I believe it's happening in every university, and that's something that you cannot run away from. But you should run away from those things. Run away, I'm talking about separate yourself. As much as someone gets a and maybe get gay and get classmate, you should be friendly. You should still preach the gospel, but it doesn't mean that you have to be their friend. It doesn't mean that it's a must for you to always be with them 24/7, because it's either you bring influence or they bring influence into you, and that's on period. The kind of school that I went to, I highlighted some parts that I'll be getting into so that I do not miss many things for part 1. The kind of school that I went to, the environment, as I explained, a lot of things, right? But because of the course that I did, it didn't permit me to be more social, and I thank the Lord for that. The kind of lectures that I had, it was always work. Yeah, you would laugh and everything, and that's still also a negative thing, because I would see people will enjoy their classes with their lectures. They'll be really open with their lectures. Like, you can see that this person is enjoying the course, they're enjoying their lessons. Meanwhile, konja, in my course, it was a whole different thing, and you'll hear as we continue to go on. Yeah, that's the environment. That's how the environment was, and it was always heavy. I don't wanna lie. It was very you can always feel that here it isn't it. And that's the thing about me. I never liked being in school unless maybe it had to deal with schoolwork. But maybe my classmates really take the lesson and maybe they're just talking and they're just chilling. Hello, go school. After lesson, after discussion, I'm gone. I'm home, you know. And it wasn't a thing, maybe I was antisocial or I didn't want to be with people. I'm telling you, I'm one of the people that love people. I like talking to you. You gonna laugh. We gonna laugh together. But at the end of the day, when I get to realize that there are other agendas that are trying to prevail in the environment or in the conversation, I'm gone. You won't see me nowhere. And that's the thing that people had to understand. So people always felt like, you know, I'm too holy. Hey, what I feel is this. And it's like, okay, it's good. I'm good. You know, you're not good about how you feel about me, but I'm good because I'm good. You know, that was the whole thing about the kind of school that I went to. Yo, I just said the kind of school. Take that out. The kind of school that I went to, they had a kind of uniform, but it's they had the kind of thing that they had to wear all the time. And one thing, at first, Hanekebala first year, I thought maybe it's because of the history of the school. That's why they always do this whole memorial thing, you know, for the owner of the school, and that's okay. But it being every year at a certain time, always celebrating the same person, it's called a ritual. I never attended those things until this day. Like, hamo to asa. This is the truth, right? Everybody has their own opinion, and whether it's biblical or not, according to my consecrations and according to how the Lord has led me just in my journey with Him, I do not attend what's it called, like this whole thing of trying to re-celebrating the person. And it's nothing like of disrespect or anything. Someone can say, no, wait until someone who's close to you dies. And it's like, when you are for Christ, many things, they don't hit you like how it hits other people. But let's not get into there, because some people will get offended. And even when it happened in school, the Holy Spirit did not permit me to attend that. Now going to the people, the kind of people that I met, I met many kinds of people in terms of, because sometimes we would have other people from a different course mixing with us because we're all doing a certain module together, and also the kind of classmates I had. So most of the time I would always be with my classmates because maybe it's group assignment or those kind of things, you know. And they were just people who were okay. At the beginning, they weren't, I don't want to lie, but obviously that was the beginning of me trying to adapt to that kind of environment and kind of people like that. But as time went on, they got to accept the kind of person I was because I was consistent in the things that I stood for, the things that, you know, because every time they would try to make me as though like I said something that was naughty or whatever, but I didn't even say it, you see. But at the end of the day, they ended up accepting and really respecting my life, my journey with the Lord, and what I stood for. Also, I kind of experienced a friendship separation thing with some girl at the beginning. I think I was still in first year, and she was still in her journey with the Lord. She was still new, you know, but we would talk about Lotamudimo, and I was like, this girl gonna be my friend. Hey, this girl switched up on me every time she was with other people. I'm not gonna say her name, I'm not gonna describe who she was, but if you know, you know. But she always switched up on me, you know, in terms of like, she would even like you know, she would be like someone else that she isn't. And when someone does that, I didn't like try to do anything about it, to be honest, but it ended up affecting our friendship. And there were many times whereby she embarrassed me, and to a point where sometimes I was sad, I would cry. But then I ended up letting go of the friendship, and after some time she even left, like she went to a different school. I don't know where she went, I don't know where she is. But yeah, so that's the kind of people that I met. But generally, hella, they were good people in terms of like mindset, and hella did school and stuff. it was interesting once in a while. It was always interesting, but I was never really intrigued or really very much of grasping and making friends like that. I really was just wanting to experience my university life. I really wanted to understand some certain things, but at the same time being most importantly firm in my relationship with God. If anything tried to trigger or tried to mock or anything in my relationship with God, you're gone. Oh, I'm going to show you that I can be stubborn, because my faith is stubborn. So that's how it is. Other thing is the kind of classmates I had. As I said, they were just okay. And gonna, as time goes on, the classmates, you know, and that's just the truth, and that's what happened, you know. And as I say, the classmates that I had, they were just okay, but obviously some, they were a mixture, right? Not even classmates, but just generally the people that I came across to. Some people were not born again, some people were lukewarm Christians, some people, it was rare for you to find someone who's actually like fully living their life for the Lord, you know. And sometimes change, and you're very excited, you're really happy that your classmate is getting somewhere. It's as if like, the kind of impact you're bringing, is it really enough, you know? And one thing about something that we have to understand is that in our journey with the Lord, it's not everyone that you'll be able to help, it's not everyone that you'll be able to impact, right? But stay and live your life for the Lord. Whoever is impacted, whoever really desires to genuinely live their life for the Lord, they'll reach out to you, you know. And even from whether directly, indirectly, their lives will change for the better. Yeah, now getting into a bit about my full-on experience now, because I wanted to break down the kind of school, the kind of classmates and stuff like that. So this part 1 is just going to be on to from year 1 to year 2 semester 1. So part 2 is going to be from year 2 semester 2 till the end, like when I finished my school. So yes, at the beginning everything was fine, as I said, and I was low-key starting to enjoy school, I don't want to lie, until a certain point. I think when I was transitioning from, it was the beginning of year 1 semester 2, yeah, whereby I was starting to have a focus in some certain lectures, like we have repeated kinds of lectures. And the lectures that I had, by the way, some of them, they were very great, like they were very kind, they were very understanding. They never took advantage of who you are as a person, what you stand for, and they would even encourage you to be the same person, because they know how to go university. So I would get lectures like that, some of them, and a few. When I say some, I mean a few, like 2 or 3, you know. And I thank the Lord for them, because they made my journey in my university life easier. It eased my mind, it eased my heart to know that some people or some lecturers or older people who are actually very much, they know what it is to be a leader, they know what it is to be a lecturer. And yeah, so we started to have a modules that are of focus towards our course, like strictly people who are involved in our course. And there's a certain man, I'm not gonna say his name, I'm not gonna describe him, I'm gonna describe his character, and there's nothing that can be done. But anyway, so this man, I'm not gonna talk too much about him, because it's gonna be like I'm exalting him, I'm this, but it's not even like that. But there was this other certain man that, this one, he made my journey in my university life, like, it was not good at all. It was bad, you know. And this is why someone can ask me, are you going to do your master's? Are you going to do your degree again? What I can say to you, I do not know, because I'm still low-key traumatized, you know. Kind of someone, as much as we are born again, right, there's a point in time whereby Klebosa is strong and your human nature can fully take over your spirit, and it happens at times, especially when you are in a strong warfare. Because I remember I had to involve my men of God, I had to involve my mentors, men of God who are like directly close to me, and I had to somehow do this person, this is not physical, this is spiritual. And they even confirmed, this is really spiritual, and I have to really pray and I have to fight against it. And I'll tell you a few prophecies that I was given in part 2, not now. because I was still laying the foundation again. Yeah, so one instance, I remember I had not come to school because I was a bit sick. So I went to, because every time there was this policy, okay, when you're not feeling well, you have to go to the office or where the lecturers sit and show him the letter, the doctor. So that's what I went to do to him. He was sitting down and, okay, good morning, sir, okay, this is the letter, okay, okay, I showed him, he's like, no, right? Then I said yes, and then he said, get like like traditional doctors kind of things, and I'm like, what? Because he was starting, that was the beginning of him mocking my relationship with God. And he was a person that was fully much threatened with someone who's different from everyone else, because the people in my class, they would laugh at him, they would comment on things that are inappropriate, the examples that he would give, they would do all sorts of stuff. But now I was always quiet, or I'd comment here and there pertaining to schoolwork. But if I do not comment on the inappropriate whatever that they're talking about, it's as if or it's as if I'm being disrespectful or stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, there are people like this? Anyway, so that went on, that was the beginning. This was, as I said, year 1, semester 2, right? When we started to get him, I think 2 modules at times, yeah. And then year 2 came in, year 2 semester 1 came in, and that was the beginning whereby obviously now you're really getting in depth of your course, what it deals with and stuff. And I would want to lie, he is someone, or I don't know if guys, it's getting dark and there is no electricity, so I'm trying to make this video so quick so that my phone don't go off. Yeah, so he is someone, quote unquote, who is of science, would say he is bipolar. And when I say bipolar, I mean bipolar, not bipolar, bipolar. Yeah, it was really bad. Because the whole class would laugh, he would bring he would always threaten you with your academics. He would literally tell you, I can make you fail. And imagine what it does to someone's mental health. It is just like when a man and a woman are in a toxic marriage, or rather the man is abusing the wife. You're gonna do anything that I want you to do, because if you don't do it, I'm gonna get our kids. What are you gonna do in that case? It does something to your mental health. And many people, they push that I said. And I told some of my classmates, in 5 years time, right now, if you're not prayerful, right now, if we do not speak up or anything like that, I'm telling you, in 5 years to come, you will see the impact of that kind of environment, what it would be doing to you, or rather what it would have done to you. I thought I was joking, to a point where I remember one of my classmates, they were always jumpy. They were always, you can see that this person is unsettled, they're very not at peace. Any question that is asked, or any question that they're asked, they just agree. It's kind of like a sort of control into your mental health. Like someone is just literally taking the strings and doing this, and you follow. And I'm trying to really express how much bad it was. And this was just the beginning. What I'm about to explain to you, or what I'm going to explain to you in part 2, I don't know if you guys are ready. But this is my story, and this is my story time. So nobody go and do nothing to me, period. That was those kind of instances that would show where we're going is not going to be easy, And when it came to academic wise, I started to do not really good. Not even because or anything, because in my assignments, girl, I will eat that up and leave no crumbs. But when it came to tests and stuff like that, I wouldn't do good, and I'm not gonna lie to you. That is because of the environment that I was in. If you have seen my story time about me being bullied and stuff, it would really show you that I'm someone of the mind. I'm someone of peace. Even my phone, when it rings, I never put my phone on loudspeaker, whatever. It's either it vibrates, and I answer, and that's it. I never allow my phone. No, because you know. Okay, I put some light so that, because this one is a rechargeable light. Yeah, so I'm someone of peace, and I don't wanna lie, a lot of peace was taken out, like the warfare that I was in. Because in part 2 I will fully explain to it, like I'll fully explain to you guys the full spiritual aspect of my experience at where I used to school. Part 2, it's a lot. Yeah, so that was one of the instances that I would experience. And I remember there was a time we were in a certain module with another class, and I don't know if he was asking people questions or something, and I was quiet because I didn't really know what to say. And obviously when you're in class and you don't know what to say, you just keep quiet, right? And that was the early days. How little first year lessons there. I'm not talking about like now when you're used to the school, you know this. And the way he spoke to me, it was crazy. And I was hoping and praying that this man, he gonna be there. But guess what? He was there. So these were the just early symptoms or early signs of what I was about to go through. And as I said, I started early to involve my pastors and people who are of God around me, because I knew that something was it's not gonna be easy, you know. And to a point where I remember I got one prophecy. I'll just talk about one prophecy from a certain man of God, and he said, you are not supposed to do this course. You are supposed to be at a certain school and doing the course that you know you're supposed to do. On top of that, at that school, you are supposed to be one of the people who were to impact that school, like through the gospel. My heart shattered. And that thing, it was when I was fully now being transformed in the Lord and stuff. And imagine you get to hear that. And then he told me that, but by the grace of God, the Lord is merciful and he's gracious, so he has had mercy on you. But at the same time, only his grace is gonna take you through. Because, and I've gotten to realize, when you get to do something that the Lord has not told you to do, you're going to struggle. I don't want to lie, you are going to struggle. It's not even in the things that he has allowed you to do or he has told you to do, you won't struggle per se, but you'll struggle more because his hand isn't fully there. He hasn't fully agreed to that part. And that's what we have to understand, and always pray for the will of God over our lives. That's why I say, pray about everything. Any decision that you're trying to make, pray. Ask for confirmations from your pastors. Manji, if you are not sure, Futsi, this is right or this is wrong, and you feel like maybe your emotions is in it, ask your man of God, please. This is a life or death thing. Do not take your relationship with God less than it is, or do not take it, or okay, no, this is not really serious. Happy the Lord will help me. He's merciful. Hey, anyway, so yeah, so he told me that, and then I always thought about that I could have, you know, maybe had a different path, a different way, to a point where some certain part of my university life, I was about to switch schools. I was about to go to a different university, but that university was not equivalent to, in terms of the course that I was doing currently, because I had to continue at another school, but I was going to go back hella tata. So I'll talk about that in part 2. It was just the beginning of the things that were happening, and imagine, that was just the beginning. Part 2, guys, please do not miss part 2. This is just the foundation of how the school was and everything. And I tell you the truth, every day I was so happy to go back home or to come back home, because one thing I've realized is that environment is very important. Regardless how educated you are, how good of a character you are, whatever, you have 100 degrees, diplomas, if your character is wrong, if you do not know how to place an environment, a good environment, especially if you're a leader and you have to teach people, lead people, and you do not know how to balance out an environment, you are gone for it. You are not gonna make progress. It is gonna be stressed. It is gonna be So manje kodwa, that is what I got to experience as the foundation from year 1 semester 1 to year 2 semester 1. So that's just the foundation. I'll explain further in part 2. So nkena, are you ready? But thank you guys so much for watching my video. It's all about the rainbows, the positivity, and the skin. I'll see you guys in the next video. I just pray that the electricity comes back. Bye.